Welcome to Nerd Positive. This is a Facebook and YouTube live podcast that celebrates everything we feel is awesome in the hopes of spreading our fandom to you. After the live show, you can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you find your audio fix. Each week, we dive into the hearts of fandom, celebrating the things we love. From sci-fi to fantasy, movie to TV shows, and comics to video games, we explore the universes that have captured our imaginations and made us lifelong fans in our search for the quest for the best. Expect passionate discussions, in-depth analyses, side quests, and maybe even a few things hiding under the bed. Whether you're a die-hard yippee-ki-yay motherfucker or just dipping your toes in the fandom waters, Nerd Positive is the place to be. I'm the host, the self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome, Bradley Buchanan. With me every week is the co-host with the mostest, the unverified twin of Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the eyebrows, the unverified twin of Dave Batista in the head wrinkles, the unverified twin of Carl Weathers in the mustache,
the flavor saver,
and the unverified twin of Tony Todd in not the left, but the right earlobe.
Yes, sir.
And finally, the unverified twin of Shamar Moore in the nipples.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you for surviving the pandemic and becoming nerd positive. I am Bradley Buchanan's tag team partner. My name is Brian S. Dennis, where this week the S stands for Extra Lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Time to level up, man. Time to level up.
Leveling Up Your Awesome. Yep. Oh, man. Which is a book that you can buy on Amazon right now.
Hey.
I got a couple things that I'm working on right now. I wanted to get everything out before, but I need to get working on more of my kid books. So anyway,
sure.
Brian, what are we talking about today, man?
All right. So this week we're going to discuss our favorites of the week. We've got a bunch of those, but obviously we're in our weekly Nerdageddon tournament of awesomeness. We're going to discuss the video game worlds that we would like to live in. So we're going to break these down to figure out what is the ultimate landscape. What if you could be in any video game landscape ever created? What would be the one you want to live in? I've got my list. Brad's got his list. We're going to chop it up, chop it down, and again, have the Nerdageddon tournament of awesomeness. And we got some games. We got our Better Than Us Human of the Week, and of course, we have an honest ad. But before we get there, Brad, let's talk some favorites of the week.
Yes, dude. As far as TV goes, the Reacher, the finale of Reacher season 3 wrapped up.
Yep.
It's good, not great. It's good.
Okay.
They are doing a spin-off series for Neely, which is the very, very strong counterpart. I don't want to say partner because she usually doesn't show up until they're the work buddies. Sure. Whatever. Anyway, that's going to be a kick-ass show as well. And then outside of that, Survivor, man. I don't know if you read a lot about it, and I'll get into it when we get talk about my favorite of Human of the Week. Sometimes when you're watching these, especially like reality TV series and stuff like that, these competitions, real life seeps through. Right. One of them was having an autistic break, and someone from an opposing team was able to comfort her the way that she needed to be comforted at the moment. And it was waterworks all the way around. And it was just a beautiful moment.
Okay.
Absolutely. Man, it was just a beautiful moment that was actually captured in a wonderful way. And in the climate of today, we need more beautiful moments. So
we do.
Yeah, man. So that's gonna. What TV shows am I missing?
So this catch on. I got to catch up on Matlock. I'm a couple weeks behind on that.
Me too.
Obviously, Daredevil Born Again, and
yes,
the last couple weeks of The Pit has just been phenomenal. I mean, just the subject matter, the way that it's presented, Noah White and that entire group. And I will say, we talked about this last week, how the new Morris Chestnut show, Watson, it was kind of hit and miss. Last 2 weeks have really, really grown on me because the last 2 weeks they've introduced more of Moriarty, which is what the show had been missing, right?
Yeah.
So again, the idea of the show is that we're focusing on Dr. Watson in the wake, and this is a spoiler alert, the wake of the death of Sherlock Holmes. Well, we got Watson introduced at the tail end, played by Randall Park, which is great to see Randall Park playing a villain. But we had him introduced in the end of the first episode, and we've had his kind of assistant showing up. We've not really seen much of Watson, of Moriarty. Now, the last 2 episodes, there's much more of a Moriarty presence, including we actually got a chance to see him in the end of the most recent episode. That has definitely improved it. So that's what we need. We need in a big bad, and they've given us a big bad, and we're seeing the depth of maybe Watson's webs and all the people that he's manipulated from afar. It definitely makes the show much more enjoyable, and so I really enjoyed the last 2 episodes of Watson, and I'm also been catching up again on Will Trent and Ghost. Ghost has been really good for season 4, and unfortunately, we've not gotten any new episodes of High Potential. Hopefully, I have not looked, seen when those are coming out. But High Potential is a great show, a great energy, but I will say this though. Brad, are you watching or have you heard of the show Abbott Elementary?
I have, and it's a good show. I haven't started. I've watched like 2 episodes.
Okay. I will tell you, it's a show that I generally enjoy, but for some reason, season 4, they really hit on all of its high points, including a recent episode is a crossover between Abbott Elementary and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, including everyone, the main cast members that own the bar, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, including her character from It's Always Funny in Philadelphia. So you see the juxtaposition of her in High Potential, which is on Fox, to her in the ABC vehicle, Abbott Elementary, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Danny DeVito is fantastic, Charlie Day, but just to see her role in that is just incredibly funny. So it's a good show. Season 1 to 3 I actually enjoy it, but season 4 they've doubled down on a lot of the backstory of the characters. So it's a little less of the school, but I think in a way that it makes the show more enjoyable. So Abbott Elementary, I've actually rewatched quite a few of season 4 because it's really good. So those are my high points. And of course, A Working Man, the movie A Working Man. So got to give it up for that.
All right, Leia, want to talk? Want to say hi? Do you want the headphones?
Yes, please and thank yous.
All right.
Gosh, these things are weird.
Talking about.
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
Good.
How's your week been?
Good. I didn't go to school on Friday.
Why no school on Friday? Did Dad forget something? Like, why no school Friday?
Tell him why.
Yeah, because my sister came a day early, so he let me stay home and hang out with her on Friday.
That's a cool thing. Cool dad. That's a cool dad moment. That's outstanding. Yes, you should appreciate those moments. Did you have a good visit with your sister?
What?
Did you have a good time with your sister?
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Very, very, very cool.
All right. Tell Brian, tell what's your favorite video game there, kiddo?
Can I have it on my phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Roblox.
I knew you were gonna say Roblox.
Or organization games. Like
I knew you were gonna say Roblox. Everybody says Roblox in your age group. That's fine. That's fine.
I also love organization games.
Okay.
I got an organization game. It's called Clean the Room.
Room. Yeah, I knew that was coming too.
Are you cleaning my room?
Well, you're gonna play the game.
Have you ever played GTA? Does that let you play Grand Theft Auto?
ChatGPT?
No, Grand Theft Auto, GTA. Just say
No.
the letters GTA.
I mean, they're probably the words you said, but no.
Say G
G
T
A T
A.
A yay. Woohoo!
All right,
All
Phil.
right,
Tell
let me
Brian
talk to
bye
your
bye.
dad. How about Princess?
Bye bye.
Tell him bye so we can get going.
The way you take those off is quite weird.
Awesome. All right, man. Yeah. So, Working Man, did you get a chance to see it?
So good.
It's
So
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it was good. It was not as good as Beekeeper.
No.
And I did there was a few issues that I had with it, but you don't go to Jason Statham movies for long drawn out plots.
True. I agree with you. Like you said, I mean, it was not Beekeeper. It actually, you know, there's some, like I said, there's some plot holes of, again, spoiler alert, the part where he turns down the money, but then the next day he's looking for it. Then why turn it down to make the family you're not doing anything?
Yeah.
It's totally built to a sequel. With that, and obviously it was written by Stallone. So what do you expect? So
Well, screenplay was absolutely.
screenplay is actually based on the movie Levon's. I can't remember the name of the novel that it's based on, but the screenplay was by Stallone and the director. So there's some of that as well. Oh, by the way, I started but didn't get through the first episode of Mob Family. That was really good about the first half, though.
Oh,
So
cool. Yeah,
that
Tom
was really
Hardy,
good.
Pierce Brosnan. I mean, like, dude, like, yeah, this is going to be great.
They are who you expect them to be.
Yes.
Like, if you doing a mob-based movie and you have Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, and Tom Hardy as their kid, this is exactly what you expect it to be. The first 5 minutes are in some ways predictable in the absolute best way. Have you seen the first episode yet?
I have not. I probably watch it. I'll probably watch it tonight.
That's fine.
After
There's a
the pod.
scene, not too much of a spoiler, but there's a scene after Tom Hardy comes and does basically the dirty work, where Pierce Brosnan comes in the great mob, beautiful, probably $5,000 suit, and just goes in to start like, but I'm still the boss, right? So you're the muscle, I'm the boss, and totally make sure that everybody's aware of that in a great way. And it's like, yep.
You know, Helen Mirren in recent TV shows has been married to Indiana Jones and 007, man.
Yes.
And Dr. Fate. You know, so like,
yes.
You know,
and
Helen
Remington
Mirren.
Steele, if you want to keep going. Yes.
Yeah. Dude, Remington. Oh, dude, they could bring back Remington Steele. Why not?
Let me look. I think that's a show that could be definitely brought back. But I want to say, because I think it's either Prime or MGM has a lot of the 80s shows that are streaming right now. And I want to say, I know I saw Remington Steele streaming someplace. It looks like it was streaming on Hulu, but no longer, which is unfortunate. But I mean, there are some really good, again, you and I are both old enough to remember when a lot of these shows from the late 80s were first dropping, and just the quality and the sheer number of episodes. Like right now, you can stream the entire series of Night Court on Prime, and there were like 22 episodes every season. And I'm like, that's how those shows have 100 episodes after being on for 4 or 5 years. Now you have, because we're so used to the streaming services, now you have anywhere from sometimes as few as 6, but rarely more than 10 episodes in a season. But you have 3 seasons in a calendar year. So it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
I think with Survivor, you're a big Survivor fan. I'm more of an Amazing Race fan. I think both Survivor and Amazing Race, season-wise, are in like their 40s, for season. And they've both been around for about 20-ish years, maybe a little more than that. So, yeah. So just the way that we consume our information and entertainment. Hey, let's put a working man on the scale. Let's see where we're at with that.
All right, man. Let's do it. And I actually did it earlier in an episode of episode of Lunch Break Reviews. I did one for Batman Hush 2 because
great.
Batman Hush is out. The sequel,
Sure.
the sequel to Batman Hush is out. It was okay. It wasn't, but it's also a start. Big deal. But anyway, yeah, Working Man. I want to see where you're going to rate it. Let me pull it up really quick. And there we go. All right, Brian. So I changed things up a little bit, and it make more sense, making things a little bit easier. So my lunch break point system is it's 5 categories for up to 5 points, and instead of I broke it down to 1, 3, and 5 to give me a little bit of leeway.
Okay.
And then I also added bonus points and penalty points as well. And I'm going to let that list just keep on growing on the penalties and the bonus. But for the main course of A Working Man, this is for the story and the plot. How well does the story hold up? Is it satisfying? Is it engaging? 1 point would be 1 to 2, bland and undercooked. 3 points would be decent, but missing something. And 5 would be rich, flavorful, and fulfilling. Where would you rate it?
And this is unfair, but like you said, we're going to compare it to Beekeeper. So it's got a better story than Transporter, but definitely not as good as Beekeeper. I think that's his best work. Taking out, things like that ensembles like the Expendables and the Fast and the Furious movies. I will give this one a 3. It was good. I think the sequel hopefully will fill in some of the holes, but I would give it a 3. I give it a solid 3.
Okay, and then once I get your rating on it, I'll go back and I'll tell you mine. All right. Second is star ingredients. This is the characters and the acting.
Okay.
All right. So are the performances strong? Are the characters well developed? 1 point, flat, forgettable. 1 and 2, 3 to 4. Some great performances, but uneven. And 5 would be iconic, perfectly seasoned.
I give it a and this one I could have actually probably given like a 2.5. I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
Okay, so we're gonna round up to 3.
Yep, because there are some wasted opportunities there. Again, this is assuming that there's gonna be a sequel. Both David Harbour and Michael Pena were completely wasted in this movie. They were there, but they were definitely not to the strength that both of those individuals can act. Again, I'm hoping we'll see more of it, especially with David Harbour.
Yep. All right. And then, so next is the entertainment value. This is called Flavors That Pop. Was the movie fun? Did it hold attention throughout? For 1 point, boring, felt too long. Up to 3 points would be engaging and had some dull moments. 3, 4, then 5 points would be every bite is exciting.
It's definitely a 3 based primarily on it seemed that the structure of the movie is almost backwards. Like he took out the leader, again, spoiler alert, he takes out the leaders and you have these 2 people. Now, obviously, again, spoiler alert, the woman with the tats on her face and her forehead, she obviously will be in the sequel if there is a sequel. But he took out the upper leadership other than the Brotherhood that, that group, whoever that is. But as far as who should have been the significant antagonists like Dimitri and those groups, those were almost afterthoughts versus the people who were the true threats. So I would give it a 3.
Okay. Next is plating and presentation. This is the visuals and the style.
Okay.
So for 1 point, it would, or for the description would be cinematography, effects, and direction. Does it look appealing? 1 to 2 points, sloppy, poorly made. 3 points, competent and uninspired. 5 points, beautiful and visually stunning.
I'll give it a 3.5. I mean, it's shot in Chicago. It's well shot. I mean, it's a beautiful film, great fight choreography. A lot of it happens at night, but it makes sure there's enough lighting you can tell what's going on. It's meant to be gritty, dirty. But I gotta say, compare this street level type of action versus how Daredevil Born Again does it. It ain't holding up to Daredevil level, but I'll give it a 3.
Okay. All right. And then for the final category, this is called leftovers.
Yes, sir.
Rewatchability. Would you watch or would you want to experience this again? So 1 point would be forgettable, won't revisit. 3 points might rewatch on a lazy day. 5 points, a classic that gets better with time.
This one I give it a 1. Of the Statham movies, this is the one that you can definitely not see again. Again, I probably won't watch it again unless there's actually a sequel, and I'll probably watch it the weekend before the sequel drops just to remind myself. But again, it's somewhat formulaic. You knew what was going to happen. I think there was some, and again, based on the book, which I've not read, I felt like there were some definite opportunities to make the script more engaging. But it's one of those movies. I wasn't upset that I went to the theater and saw it, but it definitely was one of those could definitely work for streaming.
Okay, so after the 5, before we do any bonus points or anything, all right, I have to let you know you didn't listen to my podcast, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we scored it the same. So I'll tell you how I got there, but we ended up with 14 points each.
Okay.
So 0 to 12 points is toss it in the trash.
Okay.
12 to 16 points is we're calling it has potential. 17 to 21, a solid pick. And 22 to 25 points is pack it. This is the best, right? All right. I agreed with you. The main course, 3 out of 3. Star ingredients, characters, and dialogue, 3 out of 3. The flavors that pop, that's where we had a little bit of a difference here. I gave it a 2. You gave it a 3 just because there was some things that I'm like, okay, this is a little too much. Like you got a 19-year-old girl, you're not going to drug her. You're not going to expect her to fight. There's some things like that. And
she kept fighting better. Like at some point,
like, okay, she killed somebody in a lock, but but besides the point, plating and presentation, we were right on 4 and 4. Leftovers, I gave it a 3, you gave it a 1, and that is how we get to 14. Well, actually, it was a little bit. I gave it a penalty, which brought it down to 14, I guess.
Okay.
But anyway, yes, the 4 bonus points. I have the soundtrack slaps bonus. Nothing really big in there. Do you agree?
Correct. I agree with you there.
Okay. For a bonus point, Oscar-worthy acting.
No, but I will say I really hope. So the young woman who is trafficked in this, she was really good. She actually, other than again some of the, and again this is a Statham movie, right? So there's always going to be some level of ludicrous moments in this, but I like her fights, her stuff. I actually I wanted to make sure I wanted her to be rescued. But you know what? She never felt in real jeopardy. But the 2 characters that were really most interesting to me were her and again the kidnapper, the female kidnapper. They actually, I wanted more of them. Like I wanted less of him hunting for her and more of that dynamic, which again, I think we're going to get more in the sequel.
So her name is Marab Ninfrins. And
which one? The kidnap victim or the kidnapper?
The kidnap victim.
Okay.
And she was last seen in Conclave.
Okay.
Yep. And okay, so next, is this an instant classic?
No.
All right.
It will probably develop a cult following because it's a Statham flick.
Yeah.
But it is not an instant class by any stretch.
All right. Pacing perfection bonus. Can you give that?
It wasn't too long. I mean, the story took what it should have taken. It also wasn't too short, but I think they could have used the time much more efficiently. They could, and again, when it's someone else's work, I get that. But again, I just felt like both Michael Pena and David Harbour were really wasted. If that was going to be the totality of where their characters were, then you could have found other actors to play them. I wanted more of because their stories. I also felt there was something interesting with their stories that we didn't get to. So maybe we get that more. And again, what I believe we will get is assume the movie does well in the box office, a part 2.
I know, and blind people kicking ass is always really cool to watch. You know,
I want him versus. So I had a couple thoughts. I want the David Harbour character to take on Denzel from Book of Eli. And I want a turf war between the Brotherhood and the High Table.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Okay. Can you give this a bonus point for any iconic scenes? Is there a scene that you are going to never forget in this movie?
The trashy outfits that some of those folks in the mob wore. I would call them the F-boy outfits, the jumpsuits. Those were horrible,
Okay.
horrible.
I have to read you
Okay.
one of the critics that I went over in lunch break reviews.
Okay.
Steven Silver from Splice Today
Sure.
had this to say: "Come for the Russian henchman with the color coordinated tracksuits, and stay for the trafficking John, who's dressed like an old WWF villain, Mr. Fuji."
Yes. Okay. And this is okay. So I'm gonna give it a penalty point. So the one guy, so we've had the resolution primarily of the story, and then you've got the one guy who calls his brother, if I remember tracking that correctly, and the brother goes, let it go, and he goes, I can forgive all, but I can't forgive he, killed my children. You mean the kids that you put into the life of crime and gave them guns that put them in harm's way? Those kids, even though you're obviously wealthy and didn't have to put them in the life. And then when it's like, and he gets on the phone, the most melodramatic. I'm like, really? Not to mention, okay, and help me with this. So there's a scene in the farmhouse where he pulls down his smartphone and he's seeing different images. Where was those? Did he have a drone? Like his phone could pull up images from things that I was never sure. Like, wait, where's he able to see this from? So did I miss something?
No. All right.
Yeah. Just open his phone. I can see over ledges and infrared in the dark. So yeah.
Ollie was being weird. He was in the upstairs bathroom.
You're probably going to go potty. All right, check out some penalties. Pacing drag. Was there a drag? Did the movie feel too slow?
There are some moments where it dragged. There are definitely moments where it
enough for a penalty point?
I'll give it a penalty point.
You're going to give it a penalty point? Okay. Yes, all right. All right, and what else? Sequel baiting.
Yes, absolutely. All right, that's sequel baiting. Yeah.
Okay, so all right. Cringe factor. Were there any cringe factor moments?
Not that were untoward. I mean, they
not enough for a penalty point.
No, they tried to make human trafficking creepy, which is the whole point of it. So I give them credit for that.
I actually feel they didn't meet that goal.
No, they didn't. I think because they kept pointing out she's 19, she's a college student.
Yeah,
and they made it. I mean, they could still probably should have the same. They could have made her 17 in high school. They could have made us more empathetic, and also
giving her a disability.
Yeah, and also, what about the friends that whether someone spiked their drink, they kind of never heard from them. I wanted the friends to be in on it. I wanted it to be payback, maybe for the parents and their land deal. I wanted a better reason for us to care about it than the guy that wanted to traffic her, he thought she was cute.
Yeah, I mean, with Beekeeper, they killed off Ma Cosby. And like we wanted to see.
And again, why cast Michael Pena in that role when he's at the very beginning, the very end, and there's nothing in the middle? Same deal with David Harbour. I mean, he's in it a little bit more, but other than the tour of the gun show in his house, like, all right, there's I wanted are we going to the upside down? Like, give me something here.
Yeah.
They made his turn in Hellboy look better. That's what this movie did. It made his turn in Hellboy look better.
All right. What about? Okay, so we have 2 penalty points so far.
Yep.
What about burnt to a crisp? Overly CGI heavy, bad effects, or visually messy?
No, I thought the effects were done really well. I thought the effects were almost John Wick level. The effects I thought were really well done.
What about predictability?
Yeah. I mean, you knew it was going to happen. And
is it enough for a penalty point?
No more than Okay. It was no more predictable. Honestly, any Jason Statham movie, so I'm good with that.
All right, and then
when
finally,
you go to his flicks, you know what you're going to get.
Correct. All right, the rolling eyes. I guess you know what, that's going to be more cringe factor, so I'm going to skip that. Okay, so you're doing a -2, so you're ending with 4 or 12 points.
Yep.
Which does actually bring it down into a different category. You're bringing it down to toss it in the trash. So Brian S. Dennis's review of a working man should keep working at it.
Yes, keep working at it. I got high hopes. I would definitely, again, assuming that there's a sequel, I will go see the sequel. I don't feel like I wasted my time with it.
Yeah.
But again, and I gotta say, it probably suffered more because I was so hyped to how great Beekeeper was. It
Mhm.
just wasn't that. It just wasn't that.
Yeah, and I think that's my problem with it too. Is I kept on I kept on putting it up against Beekeeper, and then when they could have told a really good story about fighting human trafficking, and
Yes.
I feel like they didn't. I feel like they were right there. I mean, like he could have led a team in the British
Yes.
military about trafficking and things like that, and built up his bona fides. And like this guy, like Michael Pena, just assumed that because he was in the military, he could do all this stuff.
Yeah, I know how
You
you
know,
come, and also, I wanted more of a callback to the beginning of it with the gangsters and the dude working his shift. Like
yeah,
that started off really good, and then it comes like, and we're there. Yep.
yeah, yeah. Would have made a really good TV series, I think, if they would. That way, they could have just dug in and built
Yeah.
it all up again. But
It also would have
yeah,
helped if they didn't show her as a spoiled little rich girl. Oh, Dad, I want money to go out with, and that's why she was even there. Like it'd
yeah,
been different if they'd have done it because not having read the source, if she'd have been kidnapped if they'd have made her like a high school student, even keeping her like college age, like she's
yeah,
going to class, but she basically wanted to party at the end of her first semester in college. She pouted. Her dad gives her the black card so you can go kick it, and then she gets stolen.
yeah.
Right there, it's like yeah,
Yeah, but I will say this: the dude who got his face bit
yeah.
gave off some big penguin vibes.
Yeah, and I was kind of sad that he didn't make it because again, that would have been a good villain to potentially carry over. Like, he was the most, in a good way, the most unlikable of the villains.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, man. Well, that was fun. Dude, you want to talk a little bit about wrestling for a few minutes before we go into the
Sure,
Nerd
this
Tournament of Awesomeness?
of awesomeness. Yeah.
Yes.
So at this point, I actually Googled it yesterday to see kind of where we're at. Remember that WrestleMania, which is on 4/19 and 4/20. So definitely Travis Scott will show up on the Sunday show with it being on 4/20. And if you don't get that reference, you did not go to public school. With that being said, they really, and I'm going to pull it up again, see if they've added anything. They've only got a handful of matches announced for WrestleMania, which is a 2-night event. So they probably need to come up with probably at least 14 matches at this point. We know what some of them are going to be, whether they've announced them or not, but I will just stick to what I think were really good things. You and I talked before about we feel sad Cody is a little overdone, which I agree. So right now we have 5 matches announced. We have 6 matches. We have Orton versus Kevin Owens. We have Cody defending against Cena, Tiffany defending against Charlotte, Gunther defending against Jey Uso, Io defending against either Rhea Ripley or Bianca Belair. I still think
it's going to be both.
It is going to be a triple threat at some, because if not, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
to have done the title switch to begin with. And then we've got Roman, Punk, and Seth Rollins. And the big thing to really out of this is we set the stage for, which I had already believed, that we will see Cody successfully retained against John Cena, which that should be how that works out. But we also have kind of set up Cody's next challenger will be Randy Orton. I think at this point we might actually potentially get either a Randy Orton heel turn or just a match that fans really want to see there. And I think that's what will end Cody's reign. And then the other piece of it, we built and built and built to the contract signing between CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. And what really was the big takeaway from that is Paul Heyman, and people who want to be trolls have taken shots at this, but this was authentically a great moment where the favor that Punk asked for was, and Heyman goes, what you look, I know to look for in the contract is in there, that whether, and I believe this will probably be night 1. This is the only way it really makes sense, that the main event of night 1 will be Punk, Rollins, and Reigns in the main event, which will put Gunther and Jay not probably the main event of night 1, which is fine. And CM Punk will get to main event WrestleMania, which I also think in my head is Punk is probably winning that match.
Yeah, I agree.
I see Punk winning the match and beating Rollins, which I think might lead to a Rollins heel turn. Especially if Jay beats Gunther. I think that could lead to a Rollins heel turn.
It's kind of crazy though. We have like Rollins is at that level where he can't really be a full-on heel.
Right.
You
That's
know,
their
like with
problem. Is they
Reigns.
have a lot of people that, right. And Reigns, even towards Reigns coming back, not in interruption, before Reigns became a babyface again, he was getting cheered. Cena still gets cheered, even though
Yeah.
he's trying his best to be a heel. They're really their best heel on the men's roster is really, you could say it's 1 and 1A is Drew Mac. You've got, well, they have three bona fide heels on the men's roster. That you've got Drew McIntyre, you've got
Mhm.
Gunther, and you got Dominic Mysterio, who's probably their best heel as far as people. Because
Yeah.
there's people that will still root for Drew, there's people that still root for Gunther because they're just badasses. But a true heel is really, and again, to give him his props, is Dominic Mysterio. And on the women's side, they do a little bit better. Liv Morgan is probably their best true heel. And Naomi, I do want to mention, I kind of glossed over it.
Mhm.
Naomi set herself up better as a heel. When they tried her as a heel the first time, it didn't really resonate. She has gone in hard with this heel, actually having her kind of get the better of Jade. I'm assuming her versus Jade will be a match at WrestleMania. Jade will completely win that match, but I'm actually excited to see Naomi as a heel. To Matilda, maybe she gets some run at maybe a United States title run in the future as well. So yeah, there's some things there that they're getting there, but we are less now because we record on Sundays. We are less than 3 weeks away from WrestleMania. This Monday and this Friday, they've got to actually get matches signed and announced to fill out that card. And because again, what they got now, they've got 6 matches for a 2-night card. That's not enough for 1 night, much less for 2.
Man, I tell you what, dude, I am a huge fan of Chelsea Green and the Secret Purvis.
Yes.
Dude, I love
Yes.
this. Because they
Yes.
just announced the Secret Purvis, I think she's going to be holding on to the U.S. title for a while.
I do as well. It would not shock me if we get a match. And again, because they don't have any matches announced for any of the secondary titles, either the United States title and neither Intercontinental title. So I'm assuming those will be there. It would not shock me if we get either her defending against Zelina Vega or maybe a 6-woman, her and her Secret Purvis versus Carter Chance and Zelina Vega. But did you hear, because I know you've not been the biggest fan of his run so far in the WWE, is Penta. They have already started the hints for Rey Fenix. So the Lucha Brothers, or the Lucha Bros they were called in AEW, will 100% be on their way, which I am assuming that at some point, I think we're going to get a New Day as the tag champs to set up for the Lucha Bros making a run, and you will Rey and Penta together. That to me is the only thing AEW did right, was the Lucha Bros. I think they're fantastic, and Rey gives you all the things. Again, Penta's the charisma. Rey is the really excitement in the ring for how he performs. You're gonna love them as a tag team, bro.
I hope so, because right now, like, I go for whoever is fighting Penta.
Yeah,
I don't get him yet. I don't get him. I mean, and like Brian, actually, you changed my thinking on Gunther.
Yeah,
because I used to like fast forward through his matches and stuff like that, and I'm like, dude, I just can't stand him. And then you were kind of be like, why? Yeah, he's the bad guy. Like, the more you hate him, the fact that you want to do these things means you actually like him.
Exactly.
And dude, that changed my entire way of thinking about more than just that. But the
last thing on this is and they're also setting up for, because they have to do, again, so it's hard to stay a heel when you're cool. And Jacob Fatu is already ready for a baby face. They're totally setting up for Jacob Fatu versus Solo. It may or may not happen at WrestleMania. I think it'll be rough if they do it at Mania, but definitely by SummerSlam, we'll see Fatu and Solo, where Fatu is going to be your baby face. And he is, again, every time he gets out there, when he talks, the all gas, no brakes, you know what I mean? Everything about him, it just reads so authentic. Like, I wouldn't mess with him at all. And so I'm really excited because I think there's some cool things that we're going to see, even though we're past the bloodline using that term. The amount of talent we've got from those Samoan wrestlers from those former Bloodline members, and makes me really excited for. And the WWE has been hitting more than missing, so I'm excited for WrestleMania. But they gotta give us matches on paper. I lied to you. One last thing, and I will share the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Well, I won't say the dumbest thing, but this new regime and idea that I think is absolutely idiotic. Some people may love it. They've added a new category to the Hall of Fame. Did you see this?
Matches. Yes, I did.
Yeah, matches, moments, go.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It just continues to break kayfabe. So you're going to have them talking about, yeah, so when I bent over so he can hit me with the chair, but make sure he didn't hurt me. I'm like, really? It gives a reason to put, because the first inductee is Austin and Hart in their match from WrestleMania. I think it was 13. The double turn. Still one of my favorite Steve Austin matches. I was a far bigger fan of The Rock than Stone Cold. So that's probably my favorite Stone Cold. I'm a bigger fan of The Rock and Bret Hart than I ever was of Stone Cold. That's my favorite Stone Cold match. It's cool that it's there, but it just doesn't fit into a Hall of Fame. To me, it takes us out of it.
Agree, man. I feel like they're grasping for something that they don't need to.
It gives a reason to get those folks at the Hall of Fame so people will watch the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, I would rather have just a segment, like, just like, even if it's just like they just show the match. Show the match at the Hall of Fame, and then let's talk about it with the Hall of Famers, or something like that, man.
And also, in my head, it should not be the first inductee, because you've got the triple threat match with the Hardys, the Dudleys, Edge and Christian. Yeah. I know Edge and Christian.
I mean, Hogan and Andre the Giant.
That's what I was going to say. But number one should be Hogan slamming Andre. That should absolutely been the first inductee. Now I get Andre has passed, RIP, and then it means putting Hogan on there. We've all got concerns about Hogan, but again, that's the whole deal.
Yeah.
And what makes a Hall of Fame moment, right? So yeah, all those things.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, I think we're ready to get into the Nerd Tournament of Awesomeness.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
All right, I'll do a quick reset for folks that are not familiar with it. So every week, or almost every week, Bradley and I come with a topic that we're going to debate, given our top 10 moments, wrestlers, movies, characters, what have you, that we want to see, that we debate through. We start off with 10 on his side of the bracket. We start with 10 on my side of the bracket. We whittle those down through various seating and tete-a-tetes, where he's going to have his win out of his side, is going to take on my winner, and then we determine what is the ultimate winner of this week's Nerdageddon Tournament of Awesome. And this week's topic is, what video game world would we like to live in? And that can be taken a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear where we're at with this. So last week, my friend, you start off with your 10. Do you mind if I go first this week?
Hey, let's do it, man. Let's do it.
So I'm going to give him my 10. Bradley's going to give me the seating for those 10, and we'll see where we are. All right. So give me 1 second here to pull up my list. So I'm going to start off with a game that meant a lot to me as a kid, because it just featured the best graphics in the world. It was Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball. And as a kid whose parents didn't let him watch HBO, I could at least play this game, and I played it a lot. So that's my first one.
Well done, man. Yes, I'm actually a little mad at myself that one did not make my list, but yes. All right, man. That's gonna be number 10.
Really? Okay. So next up. And then honestly, not only do I love the game, but honestly, because you're my tag team partner, how much I love you, I had to put this in here. I'm going Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Because who doesn't want to live in this world, right? It's a place that happened a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So we got Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
That's going to be your number 6.
Next up, I'm a huge fan of Hogwarts. If anyone's never heard me say this before, I cannot stand Harry Potter as a character. Daniel Radcliffe's a really good guy. But if you've never seen his Akimbo movie, it's fantastic. But I'm gonna put in Hogwarts, and we need to be something specific. We'll go Hogwarts Legacy. But I wouldn't mind living in the world of Hogwarts, especially hanging out with Luna after class once she's of age. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fresh Rice Krispie treats. Brian, that's gonna be your number one. Hogwarts is number one.
Number one. All right. I gotta say this one was influenced so much by the television series, but I also just really dug the game. So I want to be in the world of Twisted Metal. Give me a revved up vehicle. Love me some Mad Max. Let me go fighting in a I love post-apocalyptic movies, post-apocalyptic games. So I'm picking Twisted Metal.
And that, my friend, is your number 7 choice.
All right.
Oh man, Rice Krispie treat is really hitting the spot. Holy shit.
Those are fantastic. But I love mine with some peanut butter. Those are my favorite.
Oh man, Scotcheroos.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
All
That's
right,
a
man.
term I didn't learn until I moved here from the South. In the South, it's called a peanut butter Rice Krispie treats. I moved here like, it's called a Scotcheroo. All right.
Yeah, we've got extra sugar and extra sugar, butterscotch, and
Yes. Okay, so Bradley, here's a horrible joke for you, but I heard this yesterday. You can spread me open. I stick to the roof of your mouth, and you love to play with my nuts. What am I?
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
So first I heard like, wait, what? Oh, there it is. Yes. All right. Okay. My next one. I don't know if you ever played this series. It is probably my favorite series for play the family. I'm going with Kingdom Hearts. You give me a little Final Fantasy, Disney. Gotta go Kingdom Hearts.
You know that a couple of yours that's on your list right now. That one should have made my list and it didn't. But that's okay. That's okay. I think I'm a little scared of your list right now. We'll get there though.
All right. Where we at with Kingdom Hearts?
5.
Boom. This one, just because, and this one was tough for me because I put it on here, but the more I think about it, I don't know really what the world would look like, but I just enjoyed the gameplay so much, and it was such a phenomenon when it first dropped that I put it on my list. But again, this one might be a little bit of weak sauce thinking about what the world means, but I put Guitar Hero on my list.
Okay, I see that.
One long ass concert, man.
One long ass concert, dude. So I gotta tell you, man, my playlist on the way back from taking Anna, what must have been telling my soul that I needed to hear 90s hip hop. Because, dude, like I kept on hitting Arrested Development. I hit Mr. Wendell. I hit Tennessee, and I hadn't heard Tennessee in years. And I started jamming it, and Leia was like, "What are you talking about here?"
Yeah.
Man, the Naughty by Nature got hit. Remember the Snap?
Yes.
Man, that got hit today. I was just like, whew. All right, I need to go back about 30 years.
Your best life, my friend. And that's so painful. We tried this 30 years, but still great music.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Guitar Hero is number 2.
All righty. Okay. Again, the next one is just because it was one of my first loves. I mean, I love third person RPGs. I love me some sports, but also I love me a good fighter. And a lot of people love Mortal Kombat. Not that I'm hating on MK, but for me, the OG fighter game that's my first love is Hadouken! We gotta go Street Fighter.
Okay.
On top of that, I gotta be Ken.
You know what, dude? I'll be your Ryu.
Boom. All right.
That's number 4.
Street Fighter's number 4. All right, so we've got
3, you have 8, and you have 9.
3, 8, and 9. This one, I was willing to bet money. This is probably on your list. I don't know what's on your list, but no list of the worlds that we could live in that are video games would be complete without. And I wasn't sure how to put this because picking one game I think would just been too difficult. but I'm just going, if you don't mind, just wide swath, the Mario world. You got to go there, because who doesn't mind a mushroom that makes them bigger?
Yeah, or a star that makes you invisible.
Yes, and then of course there's a fire finger, but which could be a problem. Like if you got a date with Princess Peach, should I bring the fire flower or the mushroom that makes me grow? I think she's gonna say the mushroom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially she spent a lot of time on her own with Donkey Kong, so you might want to be like,
yeah.
all right, we'll with Mario World.
You were at number 3.
I can feel 3. I feel it. All right, and the last 2 are just 2 of my favorite. I told you I love me a third person RPG. Both of these fall into these. One, I would be a great world, Jesse, as long as I have the abilities of the main character, which is acrobatics, climbing up walls, running sideways, and of course, control of time. I'm going Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia.
All right, that is number 8.
So we know then number 9 is my next one, which is, and I shared with you before, my all-time favorite video game is a third-person RPG, expansive worlds. I love the gameplay. I love the action. It's a hack and slash. It's got puzzles, and it draws its source material from Greek mythology that I love so much. So I got to give it up to God of War. Give me Kratos, give me anger, give me scars, give me ash on my skin from my lost loving daughter, and give me that scene where you can up your health by having a little fun with a couple ladies, if you know what I'm talking about. So he puts those blades under the bed. We're going number 9 as your seeding is God of War. All right, my friend.
Okay. All right, man. So now we got to strike 2 out. All right.
All right.
Is there any that you want more than the other ones? Because I just rolled.
That I want more than others. Yeah. I want Mario World, and I want Mario World and Kingdom Hearts probably be the 2 that I really want to keep. So I really want to keep my 3, and I want to keep my 5. And I could live without, definitely. I could live without. I'm sorry, and I could live without Guitar Hero. So if we get a 2, I'd be okay. But what's my roll say?
Number 1, Hogwarts is out.
It's a fun pick, but I could live without it. All right.
Okay. And then your next one out. All right, dude.
No, who'd I lose?
Well, there's not going to be any driving around being all crazy, Brian. Twisted Metal
again
is out.
Fun picks, not game. I don't know. Hogwarts may have went deep. I don't see a Twisted. I don't know if Twisted Metal goes that deep in it, especially when I'm facing off against you. So that'll work. That'll work, sir. So I've got my number 1 Hogwarts is out, and my number 7 Twisted Metal is out. Correct?
Yep.
That leaves my top seed as a Guitar Hero. All right.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Where are we at for you?
All right, for me, we're gonna start this off with. For when I was making my list, I was thinking like, what would be cool video games worlds that I could live in and I could prosper and I could just live there for the rest of my days, pretty much, and be the adventure or be a mage or do whatever I want to do. And one of these things, I decided to pick was Pokemon World, where you could go around and you could find these monsters, you can train them, and they could be your buddies and things like that. So Pokemon is my choice.
All right. And Pokemon, that's a solid pick. We're going to go, by the way, especially if the officer and the nurse are hanging around. So, yeah. So we're going to go, Pokemon is your number 9 seed.
Okay. All right. Next is Tamriel from Skyrim. We're gonna go to Skyrim. I want to learn my lock picking and how to throw snow or ice and fire and electricity and I want to collect a bunch of cheese wheels and trade them in for a bunch of money.
Yes, sir. Well, Skyrim is near the top of your bracket. It is your number 3.
Number 3 is Tamriel Skyrim. Okay. Next. Yeah, you got a Mario World, I got a Mario World, man.
All
Absolutely. Right. You can't get too far without going to Mario. And they have warp tunnels to everywhere else.
That's a good point. So Mario World for you is your number 6.
Number 6.
So my number 3 and your number 6 are the same. All right, my friend.
And we're only going to match one more time.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I bet I know where you're at. I bet I know.
I bet you do too. And next, a game I kind of went back and forth. Should I leave it with well, you know what? Actually, I'm going to change my mind on this just because I'm only going to allow myself to do it because I haven't said it out loud yet. We're going to go with a game that is a movie coming out where you can pretty much do anything and make anything.
All right.
Minecraft.
Yes, sir.
We're going to go with Minecraft.
I honestly did put Minecraft on it because the movie's coming out. I was like, I'm not going to do it because the movie's coming out, but Minecraft is a solid pick. And by the way, that is your number 8.
Number 8 is Minecraft. Okay. All right. Now, I don't know if you ever played Cyberpunk 2077, but we got to talk about Night City because, there's some shit to do in Cyberpunk, dude. Plus, you got Keanu Reeves running around.
Sure.
So, yes, we're going Night City in Cyberpunk 2077.
Got it. That is your number 10.
Number 10 is Night City. Okay. After that, there's an MMO out there that is probably one of the more famous ones, and I just have to say 2 words to get you to. I'm sure you're going to get this for me, buddy. Leroy Jenkins. World of Warcraft Azeroth.
Yeah.
Azeroth. I want to build up my character. I want to live in that world. I want to buy a house. Yeah, absolutely.
And they should have had a tie-in with DC and Raven. But yes, World of Warcraft Azeroth is your number 5.
Number 5. Okay. Whoops, so I can't spell. All right, and next, man, I'm actually surprised this one was not on your list, but Hyrule from The Legend of Zelda.
That's your number 2.
Number 2 is Hyrule.
Again, some of these I started going with my heart over my head, but that's a solid pick. That's a solid choice.
All right. I got 3 left.
Yes, sir. So it is 1, 3, and 7.
1, 4, and 7, right?
1, 4, and 7. I apologize. 1, 4, and 7.
Okay. Next. Sometimes you need to go back to the Old West. And you can find horses and wear cool hats. Man, you got to go to Red Dead Redemption, dude.
Fair. The minute you started saying, I was like, wow. All right, so Red Dead Redemption is going to be your... Had a lot of rerolls here. Number 7 is Red Dead Redemption. You know what? If it wasn't for all the cholera and dysentery, Oregon Trail would have been a good one.
Right? Absolutely. Yeah, it would have. All right. And this next one is the second one that we have the same of. And dude, Knights of the Old Republic, man. Got to go around, find a lightsaber and level up our Jedi-ness and all that kind of good stuff, man. KOTOR, baby. 1 or 4.
And that's going to be your 4.
All right. And then finally, so for my number 1, I kind of almost feel this is cheating. But the DC universe, the MMO DCU, where you create your own superhero. You live in this world and
Yes.
you go do some superheroing. So that's going to be my number one.
Okay.
All right, Brian.
Who do you not want to lose, my friend?
I do not want to lose Kotar,
Okay.
and I really don't want to lose DCU.
Yeah, I was thinking one definitely, because that would be hard to beat. So I'm gonna be honest, but I'm kind of pulling to pull a 1. But my first one was a 9, so you lose Pokemon.
I lose Pokemon, and that's a tough one too because Pokemon. There's a lot you could talk about the level of life and what you're doing. So okay, so Pokemon's out. I got it. All right.
I guess we caught them all.
Yeah, that just may have won it. Butterflies just aren't what they used to be. Caterpillars.
So real quick, so which was a better TV show?
Okay.
I know there's been lots of iterations of it, but first season of the True Pokemon show or Digimon? Which was a better show?
Pokemon.
Really, I was a big Digimon fan. I thought,
dude, I've never watched an episode of Digimon.
Oh, you will love it. 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 Okay. So then next up, so we've lost Pokemon, and then you also are gonna lose Red Dead Redemption. So you lost.
Oh, that one hurts. So both of our number 7s are out.
Yeah, you lost your Cowboys.
Man,
What is RR mean?
we're doing some ASMR with Rice Krispie treats. Okay.
All right, it's updating my bracket here. Give me 1 sec. My computer wants to be a little silly.
You're good.
We make like the best Rice Krispie treats ever.
Yes, you make the best Rice Krispie treats ever.
You guys have fun.
Are you caught up on Tracker?
Tracker? No, I'm a few episodes. I don't know why. This second, I couldn't get
Me
into
too.
it.
I forgot. I keep forgetting all about it, man. Yeah.
Maybe because now it's up again. I know you're a big reacher, and then I almost said Deadpool. Then there's Daredevil, and there's all these things that have coming out. That's kind of like, all right, So it's one of the ones that keeps saying it's going to take an afternoon and just catch up on it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the episode. It just doesn't. I don't know. But yeah, I totally feel you there. I would love a Reacher Tracker somehow. Talk about a crossover. I think that would be really good.
That would be really cool.
All right.
All right, man. Are you ready to do your first round?
I am.
All right, so Brian, you have to make the choice: Guitar Hero or Mario World.
This one, it should be hard, but it's not. As much as I love Guitar Hero, like I said, I went into because I love the gameplay. It's one big concert. We're talking about the worlds and all the magic and wonder. You got to go with the OG Mario World. So I'm eliminating Guitar Hero and I'm keeping Mario World.
Okay.
All right. So you want to do yours or keep me going down my list?
We'll go down this round, then I'll do my round.
All right, cool. So then
be Street Fighter and Kingdom Hearts for you.
Woo! Okay. So again, my rationale is of the worlds we would like to live in. And I'm thinking about not only world that I would like to live in, but if I brought others with me, what world would be the most fun, the most intriguing? And honestly, there's greater depth to the story of Kingdom Hearts than there is with Street Fighter. By the way, do you know the backstory of, because I just stumbled across this the other day, do you know the backstory of Raul Julia, who played Gomez? It was his last role before he passed away. And people criticize the movie, so they criticize like, wow, I can't believe that's his last role. Do you know why he accepted that role?
Yeah, it was like his kid's favorite video game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I mean, like, which actually is very, very beautiful for it being his last movie.
And he did a good job as M. Bison. It wasn't a great script, but I think he did a great job as M. Bison. So yes. All right. So then we're going to the next one's going to be Star Wars and Prince of Persia, if I'm reading that correctly.
Yes.
We're gonna go. Ooh. You know what? For me, I know you love them. For me though, I would prefer to live with the sands of time. So I'm either gonna eliminate Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. Please forgive me, and I'm gonna keep Prince of Persia.
You know what? That's okay. That's okay. I think because of the time thing, that may not be a bad idea.
And then that leaves my number 9 God of War versus my number 10 Dead or Alive. I'm gonna use my head instead of other parts, and I'm picking God of War over Dead or Alive, the Extreme Beach Volleyball. So I'm picking the muscular man over the scantily clad women, which, you know, that's fair. That's fair. All
Yeah,
right.
it is.
All right,
Ooh.
sir. So who
All
I've
right.
got left is, and I know we're going to jump to yours. Do you want to finish my bracket or go over to yours now?
Oh, we'll do my round and then
Okay.
we'll
So,
get
so my final 4 right now, though, are
Mario World, Kingdom
yep,
Hearts, Prince of Persia, and God of War.
Woo,
And
that's where
that
we
is
get
a
to the next round.
pretty darn good
Yes.
going into the semis.
All right.
All right.
So
All
for
right,
you,
man.
we've got the DCU MMO versus Legend of Zelda. I don't envy you this one.
Yeah, this one is a tough one, man. I'm starting off like, because I'm gonna have to get rid of a big hitter. But we're talking about video game worlds we want to live in.
Yes.
Hyrule, I feel like there's a lot more chances for me to die. In the DCU, I get to level up. I get to be a superpowers. I can be like the Flash. I can be like Superman. And I get to be my own
chances are Soups will catch you if you fall out of a building, right?
Correct. Yeah. That is correct. So you know what? Because of that, Hyrule, I'm sorry, but you gotta go. I'm gonna let the DCU go forward.
All right, so now we've got Skyrim versus Knights of the Old Republic. Yes, sir. Yes,
okay.
sir. So let's see where your logic takes you this time, man.
Okay. So in Skyrim, you're this guy. You're in Tamriel, where I would get to level up. I could be a mage. I could be all that things. But in Star Wars, you get to be a Jedi or a Sith.
Yes.
But there again, in Tamriel, you can shoot lightning out of your hands, and you can still be a decent human being. So there's that. You know what? I think I am gonna. Kotar. I'm gonna exit. We're gonna choose Tamriel over Star Wars.
We both took out Knights of the Old Republic. Wow.
Yeah, I just feel like I could do anything I could do in KOTOR in Skyrim, and I could do a little bit more.
Fair. That is fair. All right, so now we're at World of Warcraft, Azeroth, and Mario.
All right, man. As cool as the Mushroom Kingdom is, and they keep on inventing new princesses all the time, you know. I'm gonna have to go with World of Warcraft. I feel like for the same reasons you can different species and leveling up and just you know what? I know it's hard, but sometimes you just gotta say wow.
Ha! Nice job. I am shocked because I would have. Well, obviously you heard my pick, so I would have bet money on Mario World, but that's okay. That's why we do these. And then interesting. So Minecraft and Night City.
Man, so Night City feels like it would be a lot of fun. And they created pretty much an actual city, and where you can go around and you can do a ton of stuff. I mean, you can upgrade your being and whatnot. But in Minecraft, you can really do anything.
Fair.
You know? I mean, you can mine and you can craft and anything out there. And I think just because of the simplicity of life, and you can turn off the creepers coming out at night as well, and just be kind of
figured that out. From never figured that part out.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
We're gonna take out Night City, and I'm gonna let Minecraft go through.
So, quick question: because we neither one of us put this on here. Would you rather do to live in Minecraft or The Sims?
Ooh. Oh.
Because it just hit me. I'm like, darn, Sims would have been really interesting. Yeah.
Probably. Oh man, I don't know. I've never actually played The Sims.
I played The Sims years ago, and it definitely Minecraft now it strikes me as in the same vein. They're vastly different, but in the same vein of this. I will say Minecraft is more addictive than The Sims, if that makes sense. For good or bad, Minecraft is way more addictive. And I don't even know what it is about Minecraft that's so damn addictive, but it is very addictive.
So you wait till you see the so Summer, my assistant and I, we made a Minecraft video for promotion, and it will be on the B&B Theaters TikTok this week. It's pretty freaking awesome.
Okay.
I won't spoil it, but I am Steve.
Are you really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I get to do my best Jack Black. And it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Okay. Now, while you say Jack Black, I'm gonna say this again. You will forever be my Kevin Owens. But if you ever not KO, you might be JB. You might be JB.
That's okay.
But specifically JB in School of Rock.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, that's the only Jack. Secondly, Shallow Hal.
I think there's a case for Nacho Libre.
Okay, time out. I talked about this show a few weeks ago, but I'm not really mentioning it because I always think it's gonna make my favorites of the week, and something always trumps it. You need MGM Plus, but it's called 9 Bodies in a Mexican Morgue. Have you been watching this?
I have not, and I let my MGM go because I just did the couple month thing.
We'll figure something out. Okay. It is really it's good. I won't call it great, especially when compared to some other MGM shows like Earth Abides. But what I will say is it had a lull there, but then where it comes back to it, and this is a show that it shows there's, and I mean this in a good way, no one's a really good person.
That's fair.
Even the people that try, what it shows is that stress makes people, we always want to believe that in the worst situations it's like Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso is where people usually, at the end of the day, most of the characters in Ted Lasso do the best they can in any situation, right? That's one of the reasons that show is so appealing.
Yeah, until the last
this show takes the opposite spin. When you put people in a stressful thing, they completely become complete jackasses. It's almost like Survivor. It's obviously fictional, but it's almost like if Survivor is, if they ever did a season of Survivor and there was a mass murderer in the cast, this is what you would get. This is what you would get. And
I'm sold. 100% sold on that.
Okay, so we'll figure out for you to watch it. But yeah, it is really good. It is really good, and it stars Eric McCormick from Will and Grace as well. By the way, I think our next follow-up, I know you're talking about follow-up because it's still on Netflix. Our next follow should be. Did you ever get into Travelers?
Yeah,
I think Travelers would reserve a rewatch.
Man, Travelers is a brilliant idea for a show. Talk about a show that like you could be science fiction.
Yes.
And not have to spend all the money.
Yes, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. They gave it a really good, they gave it a good cast, and they gave it it was such a wonderful idea. It kind of takes me back to my idea of a time travel show called Gone But Not Forgotten about Alzheimer's. They find the cure for Alzheimer's, but what it is like Alzheimer's people, they find this gene that lets people go back in time in their life to certain points, and they can make changes, but when they make changes, their current self goes a little bit more. So the more that they change their past for a different outcome and start a new line, like the more that they're going away. Which
that's awesome premise, man.
But also I also got a really cool idea for a horror movie that came to me at dinner the other day. We're going to say sidetrack.
Yeah. Are you gonna
Killer
watch
list.
Lady in the Yard? Are you gonna watch Lady in the Yard?
No.
Okay.
We were going to, and then I did walk in on it a little bit,
Okay.
and the reason I'm not is because it's a look on mental health,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's a look on mental health in a way that I don't like. I mean,
Okay.
pretty much the way, spoiler alert,
Sure.
and I'm sure maybe if somebody else watches it and they see a different thing, and I didn't get to watch the entire movie, I just watched a couple parts, and then I read a lot of reviews and things, but the way that this person gets over her grief and in moving forward, it's kind of alluded to. She kills her kids and commits suicide. Yeah. So I'm like, so the woman in the yard is grief personified.
Gotcha.
It's her grief that's
Gotcha.
coming closer.
Gotcha.
After the loss of her husband that drug her to this farmhouse, and at first her kids can't see it, but then they can.
Okay.
And then she's the woman in the yard.
Okay.
So spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So it's deeper because I know Anna wanted to see it, and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna Google some things, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if that's that. To me, that's not something mental health. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I get it's an interesting concept. I think without having seen, I'm going to read some reviews.
Yeah.
You mention it. I feel like the way you're saying the premise sounds good. The execution is problematic.
Yeah, and even if I'm missing the point, right? Even if I'm looking at this wrong,
yeah,
and I'm missing it, and it's just gone over my head, that's what I'm seeing. And so, like, if it's me or the normal Joe person or Joe, Mary, Bill, whoever, are they going to pick up the same thing I'm picking up, or are they going to get it? So, I mean, like,
sure.
You know, a lot of times you go to movies and you take out what you get.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, and they're objective, and like, man, this one, like, I don't know, I it's kind of scary a little bit because on one hand, I'm like, mental health can be scary, especially, you know, when you're battling a lot of those demons and grief, and you got kids and all this kind of fun stuff.
No kidding.
You know, and it's a heavy subject, and you know, if you do feel that way, make sure you get help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is a good side track, and that's really good to know. All right, so I'm gonna jump over to my block for the semis because we are so you have left is DC versus Skyrim, and then World of Warcraft, Azeroth versus Minecraft. Good luck for you, sir. And I don't feel great about my picks left.
Yeah.
Here we go. So for me, I'm gonna start off with Mario World versus Kingdom.
This one's tough, man. This one's really, really tough.
Oh, wow. Oh, what I'd like to live in. So, and I'm going to thank TikTok for helping me make this decision. I saw a article or a content on TikTok that explained that the various things that you can land on and break in Mario World are actually the petrified citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom that have been transformed. So every time Mario is breaking blocks, he's actually killing the innocent citizens. So with that being said, Mario A is a lot darker than what we ever thought, but B, that makes it easier for me to go, I'm going to pick Kingdom Hearts over Mario World, all the spinoffs, all the things. So I'm going to eliminate my number 3 and keep my number 5. And then 8 and 9, Prince of Persia versus God of War. When it comes to where I want to live, love the gameplay, love the battles, love the cinematography of all of it. But the world of Kratos gets darker and darker and darker. Versus there's a bit of light in Prince of Persia. So I'm going to eliminate God of War, and I'm going to keep Prince of Persia. So that means my finals will be Kingdom Hearts and Prince of Persia. But before we do that, we got your semis to the side, sir.
Yeah, man. DCU versus Skyrim.
Yes.
This one, um, you know, Skyrim is this game where you get to pretty much build up and you get to fight dragons and build armor and things. But again, DCU, you can just do so much, man. So I'm gonna let DCU take this one.
Fair.
DC Universe is gonna go forward for me.
That is where I would have landed, and I'm not feeling great about my chances because DCU, like you said, it's a big one. It's a big one. All right, so then so WoW versus Minecraft? Where you at there?
You know, with WoW, it's a leveling up. It's a MMO, so you gotta. But Minecraft, you can live easy, right? You can
facts.
You can turn off the hardness of it, and you can relax, and you can build, and you can be creative, and you can fly if you want to, and you don't have to worry about things that if you don't want to. If you do want some of those obstacles, you can absolutely put them in there. Sure. And for that, man, Minecraft is gonna beat WoW.
Wow, indeed, my friend. Wow, indeed. All right. Ooh. So your finals are going to be DCU versus Minecraft. Okay.
Yeah.
So Momoa versus Momoa. All right. So here we go. So we've got Prince of Persia versus Kingdom Hearts. Come on now. Disney already owns most of it. And if you're going to put in Disney, and I don't think it made Disney better than Disney, it's giving me some Final Fantasy. So as much as I love Prince of Persia, I got to go with my head over my heart. And you know what? When in doubt, you bet on the mouse. So I'm going to eliminate Prince of Persia, and Kingdom Hearts is going to win my side of my bracket. Well, my side of the bracket.
Okay. And then for me, DCU versus Minecraft.
Dude, there's only one way you can lay this guy.
Oh, it's going to be DCU for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be.
I want you to pick Minecraft because I want to win, but.
So,
yeah.
Let's take this all the way. I want to just kind of recap everything. We started with Hogwarts, Guitar Hero, Mario World, Street Fighters, Kingdom Hearts, KOTOR, Twisted Metal, Prince of Persia, God of War, Dead or Alive, Extreme Volleyball. For you, we had to cross out two. Do you feel that the things would change if we didn't have to cross out Hogwarts or Twisted Metal? Or do you still get to Kingdom Hearts at the end?
I still think when I look at this, so yeah, I still think coming out of my side of the bracket, it would have been Kingdom Hearts. So if we look at it this way, so if we didn't eliminate anyone, which the numbers wouldn't work out the same. But yeah, Twisted Metal, which would have been 1, 2, 3, 4. It would have been Guitar Hero would have been against Kingdom Hearts. Twisted Metal would have well, now I got my seating a little bit off there, but no, I don't think it changes anything. I think Kingdom Hearts still comes out. The only thing that maybe changes a little bit is I may have gone back and put in Mario World, but again, Kingdom Hearts I still think is the sentimental favorite. Now I don't know if it's gonna win, but I think it still comes out of my side of the bracket.
All right, man. I feel like everything that took me out, I think DC probably would have still made. I think it still would have ended up with it.
Yep.
If I didn't have DC, I think Minecraft would have been my number one. Going into the final round. And with that being said,
by the way, I think our brackets really expressed it. We started the thing with a lot of games we enjoy, but remember that was not the quest. The quest is where would we want to live? And
yeah.
So that goes back to my deal with God of War. God of War is great gameplay, but do you want to live every day having to hack and slash your way just to get lunch? Probably not. So
yeah. And that was a tough part about it too, because like you would want to go to these worlds in these video games, but then you're like, well, crap. The entire part of the game is that the world was ending.
Right, exactly.
Just a quick side check. Did you watch the 5.5 hours Doomsday announcement?
No, but I've seen like some snippets of it, and of course the 5.5 hours couldn't quite dig into it.
Yeah,
I am super excited. I'm
excited for the movie, but okay, that marketing thing was really, really stupid. But anyway, hey, Marvel, and I know you're listening. Sorry.
but at this point, Marvel, similar to the WWE, is printing money.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
It's true.
and it's gonna be good. It's gonna, well, at least I hope it's good.
Yeah.
But we as fans, and this I think one of the great things about fans, most of the time we come in with such love that we just want to see the characters that we've been flipping through the pages as we are kids, and many of us are in our 30s and 40s at this point. Like, just give us something that doesn't make my eye twitch. By the
Yeah.
way, when I turned on Disney Plus, the first thing that showed up on my Disney Plus today was the trailer for Andor season 2.
April 26th. I will say, okay, so if you are a fan of the show, and we know you are,
Uh-huh.
Brian and I didn't have a lot of good things to say about Andor.
That was tough. That was tough.
As a matter of fact, you know what? We should probably rewatch Andor before we get into Andor 2.
Be fair.
It
just wasn't Book of Boba.
Right.
It wasn't any season of The Mandalorian. It wasn't Ahsoka. So they've done so much right with the Star Wars shows on Disney Plus that it just was like, and we even nicknamed it Ann Snore. Like, it is so damn boring. But we said something very similar to the Acolyte too.
Yeah.
So yeah, at least Disney had and I think Manny Jacinto deserves his own series. But the fact that they let it die a death that is done okay.
Yeah.
But Andor there were some critics that loved Andor. We struggled to find anyone that really was loving the Acolyte. But Andor definitely had his fans. So yeah, maybe missed something the first time.
Maybe. Yeah.
All right.
So how do we want to discuss the best video game world to live into? Is this quality of life? Or is it like us as individuals in that universe growing?
I think there's a couple things here. So I think first off, again, if you're living in the world, you have to think about how does the physics, how does the world actually work? So let's talk about. I have three ways of looking at it. So maybe we can use these. First off, the ability to explore the world. So we're not stuck in our house. So with both Kingdom Hearts and DC, both of them are pretty expansive universes.
Yeah.
Both of them allow you to move. However, I will say the DCU MMO, like most really good MMOs, there's less rules about where you progress and where you go. Versus Kingdom Hearts, there is some level of order that's prescriptive in the game. So if we look at where our ability to kind of live the life we want to live, I got to get out into DC.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of agree. Only because you can go off and do other things.
Yes.
You can just play the part of a superhero to low-level bad guys until you level up enough. Right. In Kingdom Hearts, you do have to go places.
Yeah. So then that leads to the second one. So the ability to quote unquote level up. So in Kingdom Hearts, your level up is you grow with your health, you grow with your magic, and you get better keyblades. Versus, like you said, with DCU, your powers as an individual grow. So I would argue with Kingdom Hearts, though, the level up is you have to actually do something to level up. You can't just spam, like you said, forever with low-level villains. So I personally like the level up in Kingdom Hearts over the level up feature in DC.
Yeah, I feel like you can't. I think that's the right choice. I agree with you because you can't just sit on a couch and level up, right? You have to go do something to get that level up.
Yes.
So yeah, I agree with that. We'll give 1 point to Kingdom Hearts. So what do you got? What's number 3?
So I guess number 3 would be no one wants to live in a universe alone. So if you share this universe with someone, which of these is a better universe to share space with?
Yeah.
Significant others, kids, friends, whatever. Which of these worlds would you want to bring with both parents? Which of these we want to bring our kiddos to? So which of these worlds do we want our families and friends to live in with us? DC or Kingdom Hearts?
I'm going to say DC because they can all be superheroes and we can have our own little Fantastic Four type thing, saving the world. And, And there's
Versus in
more.
Kingdom Hearts, you got the nobody stealing their dreams. Yes.
Right. That's right.
Yes. Yes. By the way, wouldn't Freddy Krueger be like the king of the nobodies?
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
What was that doing the crossover show last week? All right.
Dude. So I bought Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Oh, okay.
And let me tell you, it's hard. I mean, like I'm still trying to figure out the combat part of it.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful game,
Okay.
dude. Like I mean, it's you feel like you're in medieval times.
Beautiful.
I mean, like, yeah, and
Beautiful.
I'm still trying. I'll talk to you more about it later on, but once I get a better handle on it. But yeah, man, like definitely check that out. I was either going to buy that or Assassin's Creed Shadow, which I am surprised Assassin's Creed didn't make it on my list, but it was one of those things like, but you're living in the future and the past, so you know it's kind of like one of those things.
And it's almost because there's such that underlying conspiracy. Like again, it makes it great gameplay, but that's a world. But is that a world you want to like? Again, the past part of Assassin's Creed, the Knights Templar, that's really good, but you can't get one without the other. So
right, and I really want them to just make a. They need to make a future Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
I think that would be so freaking cool.
And have Tom Hanks do the narration.
Absolutely.
All right. So now that we have discovered that again, the victors this week's Nerdageddon Turn of Awesomeness is gonna be DCU MMO. By the moment you said it was up there, I'm like, I think that's gonna be a bracket run into. So Bradley, would you like to play a game?
Yes, I definitely would.
All right. So I'm going to lead off our game component here. One quick second. Oh, so my son's right off camera. He goes, if we're going to pick Star Wars, should have went with Force Unleashed versus Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah. I was thinking about Jedi Fallen Survivor as well because they got Coruscant stuff like that in there.
Yeah.
But I think man, KOTOR was just it's the Old Republic, you know.
Right. Not a bad take there, son. Not a bad take. All right. So here's what I did. So since we talked a lot about video games during our Nerdageddon Turn of Awesomeness, I have a few trivia questions that I found about video games that I want to see if you know some of the answers. Now, I have these ranked from what I think fairly easy to maybe a little hard. So we'll see where you can figure these out. All right.
All right. Let's do it.
So here we go. First one. Originally given the Japanese title Puckman, which 1980s arcade game was inducted into the Guinness Book of Records as the most successful coin-operated game in 2005?
Puckman.
That's the original name, not the name that we know it by, but it was originally called Puckman. It is the most successful coin-operated. Think about the old school arcade game in 2005. That was originally called Puckman.
Is that Pac-Man?
It is Pac-Man.
Yeah.
It is Pac-Man. All right. Next up. What video game came, and to me, this is easier than the first one, but they ranked this as a harder question.
Okay.
What video game came with the old school Nintendo Entertainment System, or we knew it as the NES, when it was released in the late 80s, and it was meant to be played with the NES Zapper gun? It shared the same cartridge as Super Mario Brothers. So what?
Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt. Absolutely.
And I did not know that the second controller controls the ducks, man. Yeah, it's true.
You're kidding.
No. Nope. It's true, man.
I never knew that. Now I want to go find an NES and get Duck Hunt. I believe you. Was like, what? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Next up, third question. Which PlayStation platform released in 96 has you play as the titular character who is a marsupial prone to mayhem and who was captured by Dr. Neo Cortex? So this was a lead game for the original PlayStation system. Came out in 96. It featured a
Crash Bandicoot.
marsupial. Yep. So far, you're 3 for 3. Let's see what number 4 gives us. Number 4. What name is shared by a sci-fi video game franchise, a Beyonce song, and the tiara worn by Kate Middleton on her wedding day?
Okay. What was that again?
Oh, so these all share the same name.
Uh-huh.
A sci-fi video game franchise, a Beyonce song, and the tiara worn by Kate Middleton on her wedding day. We both are very familiar with the game, if that helps.
Is it Mass Effect?
It is not. I'll add one more. That same question give you a clue.
Okay.
No, it is a sci-fi video game franchise, a Beyonce song, the tiara worn by Kate Middleton on her wedding day, and a video game TV show that season 1 was okay, season 2 was not. Partly because of this person took his helmet off way too soon.
Oh, Halo.
Halo.
Yeah.
Halo.
Yeah.
And then the last one is, and again, to me, this was not a hard one, but they have it near the top of they have it at the difficult level of questions when it comes to trivia. This beat 'em up video game franchise featuring twin martial artist brothers.
Double Dragon.
Yes. That to me, that should have been up right up. That should have been a low level one. I don't
Right.
get why. So this is supposed to be the how many is it? This because it's in the level they say hard. It's the 129 video game trivia questions ranked from easiest to hardest. Of the 129, it is at level. It is 128.
Oh wow!
It is considered the second hardest one. I was like, wait, what? Okay.
They're actually there's a new Double Dragon coming out on PlayStation later. I think it's like this month or next.
Okay.
And it's a redo. It's a remake, pretty much, and it looks freaking awesome.
Gotcha.
So yeah. All right, man. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Are you ready for a little bit of cinematic misdirection?
Let's do it, my friend.
All right, so cinematic misdirection. In this fun and mind-bending movie game, one host takes a well-known film and completely rewrites its synopsis. But with a twist, the movie is now described as if it belongs to a completely different genre. A heartwarming romance might become a terrifying horror story. An action-packed blockbuster could turn into a heartfelt musical. And a beloved animated classic might be reimagined as a gritty crime thriller.
Yes, sir.
Now, Brian, I did something a little bit different today. All the movies are Jason Statham movies.
Fair.
All right.
Fair.
You have to name the movie, and I want you to name the genre that I'm explaining with. Yes.
Okay.
Number 1. A lone warrior, once a peaceful farmer, discovers he is the heir to an ancient kingdom lost to time. When dark forces invade his land, he embarks on a perilous quest to reclaim his birthright, wielding a legendary weapon said to hold the power of kings. Along the way, he must unite a band of misfits, battle monstrous creatures, and face the ultimate test of destiny.
Ooh, that's really good. Shoot. So my head went to a couple different ones. Give it to me again.
Yep. A lone warrior, once a peaceful farmer, discovers he is the heir to an ancient kingdom lost to time. When dark forces invade his land, he embarks on a perilous quest to reclaim his birthright, wielding a legendary weapon said to hold the power of kings. Along the way, he must unite a band of misfits, battle monstrous creatures, and face the ultimate test of Destiny.
Is it the name of the king?
Yes! It is the name of the king. All right, man. And what kind of movie did we swap it to?
Jeez.
There's not much of a swap, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's a little it's sci-fi fantasy, but I hear it more kind of
fantasy
like
adventure.
that. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, are you ready for the next
That's
one?
what was throwing me. I'm like, wait, this almost sounds like In the Name of the King. Like, no, what's the switch? So yeah, all right,
Yeah.
good job.
You know what? I think that for that one, the one that the part that gives it away is the peaceful farmer.
There's that.
You know, and dude, that's a good movie. In the Name of the King was a pretty good movie. Okay. And after a mysterious global catastrophe, the ocean's top predator is no longer the shark.
The Meg.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I should let you finish. I can get
no, you're good, man. You're good.
Okay.
It's something far worse. A small crew of survivors trapped on a research vessel must rely on a hardened deep-sea diver to guide them through the flooded ruins of civilization, fighting off creatures that have evolved into unstoppable killing machines. The only way to survive is to go deeper.
Like under the bed deeper?
Yeah.
This is that kind of if not horror, definitely suspenseful, post-apocalyptic, definitely almost in the vein of Jurassic Park. So I hear that like a dark action adventure.
All right, next. In a future where humans are engineered for specific roles, a rogue driver discovers he's been unknowingly smuggling genetic material that could change the course of human evolution. Now, hunted by both the government and the rebels, he must navigate a world of flying cars, cybernetic assassins, and underground resistance fighters to deliver the most dangerous cargo of his career before time runs out.
That's really well done. Again, we're gonna go action adventure, suspenseful. I'm thinking my first instinct, then I go, no, it's this, and then I went back to my first instinct. I'm gonna go Transporter.
You're right. You got it, man.
I almost went Fast and the Furious with the flying cars. I almost went Fast and Furious. Well done. Well done.
All right. Next. A man suffering from severe memory loss wakes up in a foreign country with no idea who he is. As he pieces together fragments of his past, he discovers he possesses a terrifying set of skills, combat strategy, and an uncanny ability to escape danger. But the more he uncovers, the more he realizes he may not want to remember the man he once was.
Ooh. Beekeeper?
Nope.
A working man?
No. Think of a place that you go when your car.
The mechanic?
The mechanic.
Gosh, I saw the mechanic once. It's been forever. Nice. Okay.
All right, and this is the last one. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
A retired soldier takes a simple security job at an underground vault, but strange things begin happening. Shadows moving on their own, whispers in the dark, and a presence watching his every move. As his team mysteriously vanishes one by one, he realizes the vault is no ordinary bank. It's a prison, and something inside wants out.
Ooh, you're good at these, bro. You're really good at these. Read it to me again.
Yep. A retired soldier takes a simple security job in an underground vault, but strange things begin happening. Shadows moving on their own, whispers in the dark, and a presence watching his every move. As his team mysteriously vanishes one by one, he realizes the vault is no ordinary bank. It's a prison, and something inside wants out. Think
Dude, you get. Oh, so go ahead.
think biblical.
I think you may get me on this. I'm really stumped.
Think maybe one of the 7 deadly sins. Well, kind of.
Uh, bro, you got me.
All right. Let me give you.
Oh, is it war?
Nope.
No, that's not a 7 deadly sin. That's Force on Apocalypse.
Okay, the co-star in it is Josh Hartnett, and this came out in 2021.
Hang on,
It's a Guy Ritchie movie.
Shoot, bro. I'm serious. I know you give me all the hints in the world. I cannot think of this.
Wrath of Man.
Never saw it. That's why. Never
Nope.
saw it. Okay, fair.
I just watched it like a month ago.
Okay.
A month or
Nice
so
job.
ago.
Nice job. Nice job.
All right, dude. That was a lot of fun. That was a ton of fun.
Yes,
Brian, do you
yes.
have an honest ad?
I do. And again, I'm going to keep in line with what we've been talking about tonight. So my honest ad is going to be for the Sega Genesis system, my friend.
Yes.
So here we go.
Oh my God, Altered Beast. Why is there no new Altered Beast?
Oh,
Dude, look, why?
Yes.
Why have we gotten
Yes.
one Altered Beast game
yes,
since the 1990s?
yes,
And we
yes.
don't have anything new for Altered Beast, the world of Altered Beast. Like, dude, come on, man. Turning into freaking animals and
Such good gameplay.
yeah.
Such good gameplay. So my honest ad is the Sega Genesis. I don't know about you. It was one of my big time. It was probably the first system that I was in love with it. Right before again, PlayStation, those things now, but definitely the Sega Genesis. Here we go. 16 bits, jet black, and cool as hell. In 1990, the Sega Genesis began to ring the bell. It upgraded gaming to a brand new level. Games like Mortal Kombat were thought to come from the devil. Sega gave us Madden, Street Fighter, and of course, Pac-Man. There were games like Fantasia that were really whack, man. Then came a hedgehog whose name is Sonic. Playing this game was so addictive, you could call it chronic. From Castlevania to Toe Jam and Earl, the Sega filled my days with quests of collecting rings, winning battles, and yes, saving the girl. While Xbox and Sony may rule today, the Sega Genesis created my childhood memories that will never go away. The honest ad for the Sega Genesis.
Well done, well done. All right, so Better Than Us Human of the Week. Brian, I gotta say, I got two.
All right, let's hit it, my friend.
One from I was talking about earlier. I want to just talk a little bit more about Survivor. That was just a beautiful moment. Human.
Yes.
And my second is my wife, Kaylee. Her birthday is on Wednesday, so she's, yeah, she's that old.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. She's so happy many years young. Many years young. For me, I went back and forth on a few people, but honestly, knowing that we really just enjoyed his work of late, and you honestly threw out him in the game you brought, I really thought, you know what, let's give it to Jason Statham. I think he's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
He gives. I'm very similar to Liam Neeson. The movies are the movies are the movies. Some people say he plays the exact same character in every movie, and you know what? So what?
Yeah.
So what? They're great. They're popcorn movies. You go, you watch. He to me was the best part of the Expendable series. So just got to give it up. So Jason Statham, keep doing you, and we're super excited for Beekeeper 2.
Yo, dude, can't wait for that, man.
Absolutely.
All right, next week's homework. What do we got?
We talked about doing a rewatch of not follow up, but homework. We talked about doing a rewatch of Travelers. How you feel about that one?
Yeah, let's do Travelers season 1.
All right, let's do it, sir.
All right, dude. I think. Do we have anything else we want to get out there?
No, sir. Other than I think it's time to put a pin in it, man. I think we're done.
All right. Well, if you want to support Nerd Positive, go to buymeacoffee.com/nerdpositive or patreon.com/nerdpositive. You go to PayPal or Venmo at Bradley Butan. I'm not going to say no. Most importantly, though, share the show with someone you want to make a little more awesome. And, we'll say hi. Also, if you want to come on the show, reach out to us. We love to have fun.
Yes, sir.
All right, Brian. Let's go ahead and start putting a pin in it, dude. Let's end the show like we do every week.
Well, again, thank you all, everyone. So, boys and girls, children of all ages, for joining us, for surviving the pandemic and now being nerd positive. As always, you can find me at Brian Stephen Dennis on the Book of Faces. That's what the S actually stands for. And please remember, Goonies never say die and never give up. Never surrender.
Friendship is like peeing on yourself. Everyone can see it, but only you get the warm feeling that it brings. Every time you feel stupid, you just got a little bit smarter. By the way, squirrels' cheeks are their nutsacks. Be like a burrito of life. Soft on the outside, but full of surprises. Bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye.